Alright, so what's up guys, it's Micheal Stewart here and welcome back to my channel. And yeah, so today I'll be sharing with you just a quick story of how I started my business. So that's something that I'm constantly asked by people who I meet. Even customers ask me, how did I start my company? So if you don't know, I run a business called Stewy's Greetings, and we're a customized products and wedding stationery business. So we make everything from wedding invitations, programs, cake boxes, table numbers, thank you cards, greeting cards, plaques, signs, shirts, you name it. We create those kind of stuff. And today we have had 3 office locations. So right now I'm actually inside one of them right now. I'm sitting inside my third office. When I say third, I'm talking location, new location. Not I have 3 locations. It's a dream, it's an ambition. But right now it's only one office, but we've moved 3 times as we continue to expand our operations. Alright, so the journey started in 2011 while I was a student. So I was studying marketing at NCU, Northern Caribbean University. And I wanted to basically develop some skills that would allow me to have a competitive edge upon leaving university as a marketing student. I did not want to leave NCU as just another marketing student with a marketing degree. I wanted to have some skills that would set me apart as a marketer. So that led me to go on this journey of trying to learn different skills, graphic design, video editing, videography, web development, and all of those good stuff. So I learned that because I wanted, if you're comparing me with another student upon graduating, or let's say we went to an interview, I would want a person or potential employer to choose me because of the added skills that I have, So when I learned those skills, I realized that I wouldn't say good, but I was getting, I was making work that would impress people. Let's put it like that. I was creating stuff, especially as relates to graphic design. So that led me to think, what could I start with? What kind of business could I start with my graphic design skills, as a student? And, it was just a Google search. I went online, jumped on my computer, went online, went to Google, businesses to start using my graphic design skills. So I don't have that epic founder story, like most other entrepreneurs. Most of them would share that they had this problem, and by doing this problem, by trying to solve this problem, they came up with this product idea. It was not that for me. It was very intentional. I went online, Googled businesses to start with my graphic design skills, and that led me to a website that had a long list of different things, and I saw greeting cards. So I said, greeting cards, that sounds interesting. People do buy greeting cards. I have bought greeting cards for several occasions, so I think that would be a good idea. But I was saying, how would I compete with some of the stores, some of these existing stores in Mandeville? So I'm in Mandeville, Jamaica. How would I compete with, a Fontana, a Body and Soul, and other places, Impact, that actually sells greeting cards to people? And I said, you know what? I could maybe make personalized greeting cards that would set me apart from what you could actually get inside a store, because these cards would feature your photos, your names, your wording, and what I just said, photos, name, and wording became my tagline when I just started, and for a long period of time, just pushing the idea of your photo, your name, your greeting card, So I did that search, found out that I could actually start a personalized greeting cards business, and it was about this time today is what date? Now is January 26th. And I think it was around this same time, around late January, early February of 2011, when I did the research and I said, you know what? Valentine's is actually coming up, which is the 14th. So now would be a good time. So what I did, I went home. When I did the search, I was at school. I went home and I said, you know what? I'm going to create my first design of a greeting card. I've never made a greeting card design in my life. And I'm going to try to create one. And I did. I went on a computer. At the time I was using Corel Paintshop Pro. You will find tons of tutorial on that on the same channel. And in fact, I have a playlist and I'll link it up here or somewhere, you know. But don't click off it because I'm telling you a story. I want you to listen to me. Alright? So I created the greeting card, and when I completed it, I went to school the following day, NCU, and during my break, I decided that I was going to grab a cab, head into the town, Mandeville, and there's a print shop rather, called Reliable Printers. So I went up there and I printed my greeting card, and I brought it back to NCU, printed it up there, folded it, and cut it neat so it looks like a greeting card. And I was impressed. I was amazed. Hey, I designed this, I made this. And I brought it back to NCU and I showed it to one of my friends, Kevin. Watching this, Kevin, big up yourself, because the comment actually, served as an inspiration, even though it was very simple. And this was my friend's response. Yo, this look real. I'm speaking some Jamaican now. Yo, this look real. For those persons who don't understand it. He said, this looks real. This looks like a real greeting card, but in Jamaican term. Yo, this look real. And when I saw that somebody responded like that what I designed, printed, and created actually looks like a real greeting card, it served as a motivation. I said, all right, sounds good. So I decided that I was going to create a flyer immediately. And I jumped on my computer again, and because I knew that Valentine's was coming up very soon, so I wanted to start my campaign, my promotions. So I created a design, and I'll show you the design. It's not a work of art, but it worked, and it was my early days. So I'm going to show you, in fact, I'm going to show you on screen my first greeting card design and my first flyer design campaign. And I think this was my very first flyer too. My very first flyer. I've never made a flyer in my life. And so the very first flyer I made was for my own company, Stewy's Greetings. So I created the flyer, Hey Lovebirds. The tagline was Hey Lovebirds. And I went on about the features and benefits of the personalized greeting cards. And I ended the flyer by saying it doesn't even cost much more than a regular the greeting card that you would buy in Mandeville. So at the time, I think I started out with $350 each. So $350 Jamaican dollars for a personalized greeting card that has your name, your words, your colors, your everything, fully personalized. And I went around campus. I designed it, went back to I hear a dog outside. I designed the flyer, went back to Reliable Printers, and I printed maybe about 10 copies. And I went to every notice board on campus and placed it, the flyer there. And the flyer actually had a photo of me. That photo, I looked depressed in it, but it worked. The photo had me just so that they could identify who is actually selling these greeting cards. So we posted it on every notice. Alright. So where was I? Got a call, sorry about that. Alright, so I placed the flyer on every notice board on campus. And in addition to the flyer, I had a few in my hands along with my original greeting card design. So I literally walked around. I went to the cafe, so I became a salesman on campus. I went to the cafeteria, I went to the auditoriums, I went to the offices on campus, I went to there was a place called the Seat of Scornful. Big up the Seat of Scornful at NCU. I went to the Seat of Scornful. I went to the lobbies in my block, my department, business department, and other departments. And I pretty much approach people and say, hey, Valentine's is coming up. How about trying this Valentine's? Instead of buying a regular greeting card that is not, and I started to demonize the regular greeting cards that they would get at the store. Why? Instead of buying a greeting card that does not have your name, does not have your own words, why not get a card that actually has your photo, has your own words? And I remember saying this to almost everybody. The greeting, you get to call your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your wife or your husband by their pet name. So if you call them Pumpkin, you get to say Pumpkin. So the card, and this was my other thing, when the wording would sound just like you, because you give cards to people who were written by somebody else for somebody else. Now you get the chance to write a card, give it to your loved one, and the card will read and sound just like you because it was written by you. So that was sort of my pitch, most of what I would have shared with these persons. And to be honest, they took to it. I remember getting a lot of orders that for that Valentine's season. Many persons bought it. At the time, I also had the idea of doing the frame, something we call a frame card today. But back then, we call it, I don't remember what I called it. But it was a card that was sometimes laminated. So we would print it, instead of it being folded like a regular greeting card, we created a flat card and then laminate it. So I would pay extra at the print shop to have it laminated. And I sold these at a higher price, $950, while I was selling the greeting cards. So I think $350 or $495. It was $495, yes. 495 Jamaican dollars. So that's how I started Stewy's Greetings. I just got the idea, researched it, tested it, and then the opportunity came up for me to do a promotion on it, and I did. And from that day, I continued to make greeting cards for several persons, even throughout my entire time at NCU, for persons on campus and even off campus. I was also working at Global Travel Service, and persons would come there and order greeting cards from me. The company itself would order greeting cards from me. Individuals, my co-workers, would order greeting cards from me. Persons who they gave greeting cards would in turn order greeting cards from me because they got a greeting card themselves. So it started, that word of mouth momentum started to happen. And today we're mostly known for wedding stationer and dogs. Today we're mostly known for wedding stationery, and just by starting the business I learned that instead of collecting $495 from one customer, how about collecting $10, $15, $20,000 from one customer? Because when a person is getting married, they're doing several wedding invitations as opposed to giving a person one greeting card, which presented a bigger opportunity for me. So as I started to market my greeting card, from time to time, I kept hearing persons saying, hey, do you do wedding invitations? And I said, no, we don't do wedding invitations, we do greeting cards. But I realized that trend, and that's how business goes. Sometimes you start something, and just by starting, the feedback that you get from the market will direct how you pivot your business, how you change your business, how you transition into different realms just by the requests that your clients or potential clients are making. So I got that request. I remember going to a store and they say, hey, we like your greeting cards, but we really want some wedding invitations. And I think that was my second to last, straw as it relates to the request turning down wedding invitations. They asked about it. I remember going to House of Style, that's a clothing store in Mandeville, and I was talking to them. And I remember saying no. And then I was at home at the time. It was a home-based business, and somebody called and asked if we do wedding invitations. And you know what I said? I said yes. And you know what the person said? The person said, "Okay, great. Can I see some samples?" You know what I did? I said, "Yes, I'll send you some samples in a few." And after I hung up from that call, I jumped onto my computer, Corel Painter Pro, launched it, launched Google, and I looked up some greeting card designs, and I created 5 greeting card designs to sell to that customer, just so that I could show her samples. 5 greeting card designs. And afterwards, I created the design, I sent it, she loved one of them, and she chose it, and she placed the order. And from then, we started doing greeting cards. So over the years we continued to do greeting cards because we kept saying yes to greeting card, wedding invitations. You kept on saying yes to wedding invitations until people started to request different types of wedding invitations. So again, the market was leading me into the different types of products to introduce as they requested. So, that's a key lesson in business, and I share this every time I get the opportunity. All you need to do is start and get the feedback from the audience that you're trying to serve. They're the best at telling you what they want because you set out to serve them. So don't get too caught up in what's in your own mind as it relates to products. Instead, do what you think, get their feedback. If they're not giving it to you, you ask them for the feedback. Ask them to be critical. In fact, sometimes I ask people, what would you improve? So I'm not looking to get all buttered up and, oh, I love your products and all that. No, I want to hear, because I know that my business is not perfect. So I want to know the things that I can actually improve. So I say, I give you something, and let's say it's this hat. I give you this hat, and instead of, I know that the hat looks good, but I say, what would you improve on this hat? And that creates an openness now to be critical. And I welcome the critique, so that I can improve, so that I can make it better, and so that the next time around I can have a better quality product that people will love and appreciate. So yes, that's how we started. Yes, so that led to me quitting. Yes, sorry about that. So that led to me quitting my job as a marketer to focus on my business full time. And for 8 months after quitting my job, I worked on my website. I had it up, but I worked on improving it and worked on just my approach in really reaching more customers. So reaching more customers. And in another video, I'm going to tell you the story of what really happened when I quit my job in more details. But I quit my job and I worked on the business for about 8 months, started gaining more momentum, and to the point where I know that I needed to hire someone. So I hired my first person. So that person would actually come to my house every morning in the mornings to assist me in working on the products that we were creating. And we kept improving, kept gaining more customers island wide persons. And this is another thing as it relates to your business. You see, though your business might be a home-based business and small, you can position yourself as a business that is actually bigger, that seems bigger than what it actually is. So by how we presented our brand online, persons thought that we were this big company. Many customers who called us said, "Hey, I never knew a company like this existed in Jamaica. We're so happy." And I say, "Yes, we're happy too, because you're about to become a customer." But yes, so position yourself to look the part that you want to look like what you want your business to become, And I think that's something that you ought to take if you're on that journey like I was, Try to make your business look bigger than what it actually is. So we improved until I got my first office at Annex Plaza. It was a very, very small space. So I got my first office still with my one employee, and then I realized that I had to be servicing persons in terms of talking to them on the phone, converting them into customers, and then designing their products. And after I designed the products, then my one worker, big up my first worker, Peng Gawain Ainsley, if you're watching this, appreciate you, man. He would create the products. So I would teach him how to create the different products, different stationery, and he would work on them while I handled the customer service, the design, and the sales. Alright, but the customer service and the sales aspect became sort of overwhelming, especially when coupled with the design aspect. So that led me to hiring my first graphic designer, which was a very proud moment for me. And from then on, we kept doing it like that until we are where we are today, 11 years later. And I'm very grateful. But there is a lot to learn along the journey, so I'm going to go to some key points in the future with you. So I hope you found this valuable, and yeah, stay groovy. Take care.